This week at Bungie, we're talking weapons. This is it, the last TWAB of the season. It's been a blast watching Guardians splice their way through the VEX network, tackle the Vault of Glass, and pile up a ton new rewards during the season of the Splicer. We have jam-packed a lot of Destiny moments since Beyond Light, disputed last fall. I'm probably going to skip all this. So we are less than a week away from the big reveal showcase. No spoilers, but we have a tune-in page set up and will be streaming on both Twitch and YouTube on August 24th. 7 years of Destiny have led to this moment. They like saying that, but I think they say that almost every single time, right? Anyways, join us to learn more about the new adventure unlike any you've encountered before. The pre-show is starting at 8 a.m. Pacific and the showcase itself will kick at 9 a.m. Pacific. Perfect. Weapon tuning! Next week's update is ushering in a new season and a big Sandbox update to go with it. We have already covered ability tuning here, armor and mod changes here, and now it's time to go over what is changing with weapons. Here is weapons feature lead Chris Proctor with a full rundown. Alright, good day, it's Chris again. We got a lot to talk about for Season 15, including stasis weapons, a rework of fusion rifles, and several changes intended to make certain weapons more relevant in the new activity with the new artifact mods. Let's kick off by clarifying some terminology. Definition of terms. Some of the recent info on weapons we put out has been confusion, and while I generally like to use our internal terms for concepts where possible, in some cases they require too much explanation to use them externally. That's why I like Google. Here are some definitions and clarifications to help. Fall off, projectiles. I'm just going to go on. I just want to read the bread and butter. Global. Season 15 introduces legendary stasis weapons, and we've seen some concern about how these are intended to work, particularly in PvP, so here are some details. Actually, did I skip anything? Okay, I didn't skip anything. All right. Stasis power weapons are in the power slot, but all other stasis weapons are in the kinetic slot. Stasis power weapons on the power slot? Yeah, of course they are. Okay, so they're not going to be in the energy slot? This is to avoid overcrowding the energy slot and so that it's reasonable to use one in match game content. The kinetic slot won't be renamed at this time. Oh, so kinetic weapons will start to have, you know, kind of an energy to themselves, or at least they try to create some variety. Stasis weapons don't intrinsically do anything differently from weapons of other damage types, but they are the only weapons that can roll with stasis perks. Okay, so this is what I was curious about. Stasis element, what are they going to do differently with the weapons? Like, people were asking if I was excited at all. It's like, bro, if it's just a different element slapped onto the gun and it's same exactly as other element weapons, then what is there to be excited about? But this is how they're going to try to make them unique, is that they roll with unique stasis perks. We generally intend stasis perks with slowing or freezing effects to have a kill trigger, this being easy enough to trigger in PvE and fun to use but not obnoxious to play against in PvP. Alright. Now that we've addressed Quick Draw's permanent 100 plus handling buff, we see more people using the Quick Swap glitch. The glitch uses combinations of inputs to animation cancel, allowing near instant weapon swaps. We want that handling stat to continue to have value on weapons and don't want, for example, aggressive shotguns to lose their key downside, slow swaps due to unintentional side effect of the animation system. Fix the Quick Swap glitch. Damn! Today we lost an OG mechanic from the Destiny 1 days. Let me take a moment to just, you know, pay some respect. I remember Destiny 1, it's FrostBolt trying to get into the scrim tourney scene back when it actually mattered and we thought that esports could be a possibility for Destiny, and we were learning how to swap our weapons right away, whether it was using a shotgun, a fusion rifle, or a sniper rifle. And it was an amazing thing for me to have on a Titan, because at the time, what is it, Hunters had Blade Dancer meta, they had a quick draw perk, and Titans, you know, for me I felt very slow and sluggish, so that quick draw glitch was key in order for me to stay relevant with a character that didn't have that high handling bonus. My goodness, it's over, but hopefully it's for the better. It should be. Running out of primary ammo has never been tactically uninteresting or interesting. Running out in hard PvE content or because you were on a tear in PvP was a weird and sometimes frustrating experience that we would like to not subject anyone into the future. Who are they talking about here, man? I have several matches in some of my videos that I run out of primary ammo and I'm just like, it's awkward. I'm just like, damn, I run out of primary ammo in this match more than it did a special, you know? Anyways, all primary ammo weapons now have infinite ammo. Damn. Inertia override has been adjusted to account for there being no primary bricks. Oh? Drop max downside of reducing reserve ammo is now almost meaningless. Okay. Rework to be reload speed plus magazine size. Nice. Compact arrow shafts update of increasing reserve ammo. Likewise, rework to be plus reload plus handling. Updated some of the perks that refers to reserves in a way that no longer accurate. See notes on fighting line and sweep bins in the exotic section below. Okay, I was thinking about that. Fighting line, but I have infinite grenade launch ammo. I'm gonna cry. Target farming trials weapon is much more efficient in season 15, and we have some cool new perks for players to play with that we wanted to put on trials weapons. New perks, I like that. All trials weapons available in season 15 now have 7 perks in each column. Was 5. What? Huh? I'm curious about that. When max power levels on weapons launched, we reissued several weapons. We saw how frustrated players were at having to regrind their favorite rolls. Yes, you understand. You're listening. Since the perks pools hadn't changed, based on that, our reissued guidelines from season 13 onwards were to replace most of the perks. Turns out that was an overcorrection and that certain perks in the original pools had become part of the identity of weapon. Facts. See, that's what people didn't consider. Like, I didn't see that either at the time whenever I was like, in my content creator wine mode, and like, oh my god, they're really good, but they don't put new weapons on their new perks. But turns out when they reissue a gun with new perks, I'm like, damn, where's that other perk that I really liked on this weapon? But I don't know. That kind of raises the questions like maybe their new perks are just ass and nobody wants them. So they kind of failed on that part. Anyways, moving forward, the guidelines for reissues will remove the least useful 2 to 3 perks and add 2 to 3 new perks that give the weapon some new options that may result in an entirely new top tier rolls without removing the old one. We made some small adjustments to the weapons reissued in the 3.2.1 update to move these in the direction of the new reissued guidelines. And if you're wondering why our community managers were asking for everyone's favorite role, now you know. Added 1 or 2 of the original perks to each column for the Luna weapons reissued. Oh! So they added them back. Let's go. They're not dead forever. Since these can be target farmed, we're okay with increasing the size of the perk pools in this case. Added 1 of the original perks to one of our both columns for the Dreaming City weapons reissued. Nice. Tiger Sprite Twilight and a Bite of Return. One of the original perks. What's an original perk on Twilight Oath? Maybe box breathing? I don't know. Anyways, we'll think about that later. Since these can be target farmed yet, we didn't want to increase the size of the pools by more than 1. Gotcha. Archetypes. Oh my god, I smell grenade launchers. I'm excited. No, exotics received these changes as written unless otherwise mentioned in the exotic section below. Breach grenade launchers are increasing as a pain point in PvP, and with the shotgun nerf, we're seeing a small increase. Small? This change aims to reduce the ease of getting big splash damage for priming or cleaning up targets. We'll watch how things change and make further adjustments in the future update if needed. Note that we're fine with how they perform in PvE, so have compensated there. Reduce the blast radius by 0.4m. An example, max blast radius decreased from 4.55 to 4.15. Okay, blast radius reduction, that's fine. Minimum blast radius decreased from 380 to 340. All right. So the big one for me is definitely the max blast radius right here. I think that should be a significant change. I feel like we'll feel that for sure. People are going to have to aim more often than not, but still, we'll see what else it says. Reduce splash damage by 20, which reduces total damage for a direct hit from 220 to 200 before taking the spike or proximity grenades into account. Reduce splash damage by 20. Okay. Increase damage in PvE by 12% because of the above splash damage change. This result is a small overall buff to combine damage. Wither Horde is unaffected. All right. I don't really have a problem with Wither Horde personally. So we got a blast radius nerf and a splash damage nerf. I think I like that for now. I have to play with it and against it to see the actual impact. Personally, I would have liked to see something in regards to the velocity because those things, they just zoom, bro. Especially ignition code, it feels like a mountaintop. It might have a little curve, but still. Hopefully this is enough. I can only cross my fingers at this point. While machine gun usage is surprisingly high, we felt that they weren't fulfilling their intended role in high difficult content, ammo efficient ad clear, and secondary single target sustained damage. Increase the damage in PvE by 20%. Yo, Thunderlord Active Morrig, it's back. Wait, does that mean that Xenophage might actually be better? I don't know. You guys let me know. Scout rifles and hand cannons have felt weaker than we like in PvE content for quite a while. Increased damage versus miners by 15%. So you can run your hand cannon and your scout rifle. I feel like scouts are about to be even juicier in my high-end content. So I'm excited about that because, you know, I don't use a scout anywhere else. So it's nice to use it in some part of the game at least, right? Anyways, next up should be fusion rifle. Let's see. Fusion rifles have benefited indirectly from the mid-season 14 shotgun nerf, but fusion rifle subfamilies weren't as different from each other as we wanted and weren't all useful in the variety content. So we looked at all the options we had for diversifying them and ended up with some substantial changes. This isn't intended to be a global buff to fusion rifles, but we expect some of these to be better counters to the weapons that they were previously. Note that we are also evaluating some other options which are worth a bit of discussion. Given the projectile's travel time, we did like the idea of this behavior in Destiny 1, but on investigation found that there are networking issues with rapid fire fusion, with firing rapid bursts of non-hit scan projectiles, and they didn't play as well as we wanted them to. We may look at this option again in the future. Okay, so they checked this option, which was give them travel time. But they brought up a really good point about the networking issues. That would just be a mess, I feel like. Burst, rate of fire. This would have meant touching design data and audio for every fusion rifle we've ever shipped. Well, beyond the scope we wanted for this change, and also not that interesting a change. A burst, rate of fire? What do they mean by that? Like a bastion, perhaps? I don't know about that. Increased PvE damage bonus such that all subfamilies have a 15% PvE bonus. Previously, high impact was 0, precision and adaptive were 10, and rapid fire was 12.5. Pushed subfamilies further apart, adjusting charge time, shots fired per burst was 7 for all subfamilies, and damage, note that the base below means without battery perks, a charge mass work, or an adept charge time mod. Okay, so they're trying to make them more unique. Word. High impact, charge slower, and while still strong, require more planning to use effectively. Base charge time increased from 0.86 to 1.0. Shots per burst reduced from 7 to 5. Reduced total damage per burst. In playtesting, we found that changing these in the open is super risky, but pre-charging around corners or otherwise its safety is very effective. So, as I'm understanding, this is just a nerf to the high impact fusion rifles. Okay. Let me keep going. With the reduced shots per burst, these are now less reliant on stability, so can now stack a bit more range. It just seems like a nerf. I guess some people won't mind, especially if you're a console player. On PC, I mean, I didn't really see them much around, but they probably would become popular as shotguns keep getting nerfed. Precisions and adaptives are close to unchanged. Base charge time is unchanged. Shots per burst is unchanged at 7. Very slightly increased total damage per burst. In playtesting, we feel that these are very effective all around. Without stepping on the niches of high impacts and rapid fires, I'll be keeping a good plug one for PvP. Okay, so I like the precision adaptive frame fusion rifles. Those are like the sweet spot for me at least. And now I understand why these changes happens to the high impacts. It's just to have more of a difference between these two, I guess, and a reason to run these over the high impacts. Rapid fires charge faster, allowing them to be used reactively against charging enemies or aggressively when pushing forward. Base charge time decreased from 0.54 to 0.46. So these things are going to be shooting so fast. Shots per burst increased from 7 to 9. Increased total damage per burst. Whoa. In playtesting, we found that these are very effective against shotgun rushers. The combination of the, I mean, anything is effective against shotgun rushes nowadays, bro. You nerf the range, you nerf the quick draw glitch, you nerf the quick draw. Come on, bro. I can't kill a drag anymore with that thing. The combination of them needing to be closer and you having a shorter charge time work well together. And if you have a good enough timing, you can fire 2 bursts with a rapid fire before a high impact user finishes charging their first. With the increased shots per burst, these are now more reliant on stability, but with the increased damage, they're less reliant on range. Okay, so I kind of get what they're doing here. Rapid fires are kind of go for the vibe where you 2-tap enemies. Precision frames, I mean, they can one-shot or not. And then the high impacts, you know, those are kind of like your one-shot kill fusion rifle, but, you know, with the charge time and all the changes going on. But, I mean, at least that's how I understand the rapid fires. I have to go for 2 shots usually. And maybe with a damage bonus, charge of light, frontal assault, whatever, I could get a 1-tap, but we'll see. Parts of this work required adjust on several fusion rifle perks and 1 mod. Backup plans implementation wasn't compatible with the fusion rifle changes, and we felt like the perk could use a rework anyway. Remove the 100+ to charge time stat, adjusted charge time multiplied from 0.85 to 0.7, and now scales damage by 0.8. Okay, not sure how this is going to work out. Liquid coils and accelerated coils needed a rework for similar reasons, of course. Both converted to scale charge time and damage instead of modifying the charge time stat. The final effect is much the same as before, but these are now more robust. However, they won't visibly change the charge time stat in the inspection screen. Oh? Interesting. The adept charge time mod felt pointless, and we felt like it would still be balanced against other mods if it didn't reduce damage. Change functionality to scale charge time directly instead of changing the charge time stat without adjusting the damage. A note on the charge time masterwork. A fusion rifle's damage is determined by its charge time stat. Okay, this is getting kind of confusing. Similar to how most other weapons' damage is determined by the rate of fire stat, masterwork can only increase weapon stats for performance reasons, so it's not possible to change how charge time maps onto damage without big changes to how the charge time stat works. A lot of charge time words. We investigated doing this by masterworking a perk, but this would cause fusion rifles to exceed the perk budget, resulting in bad things happening. Okay. With the fusion rifle rework, we feel that the masterwork is more viable and now rarely reduces bolts to kill. So may feel not feel like a downgrade in the same way as before. We'll be watching to see how this plays out and have some options to address in the future. Bro, when they wrote this, I think they were confused because I'm confused. But all I know, it's a rework to fusion rifles for the better, all right? They're trying to make the subfamilies more diverse, be more unique to themselves, and they're not trying to ruin them, all right? This is not a nerf. They're trying to make them good. Or better, more consistent, reliable. Adjusted the fusion rifle stat order so it matches other weapons. Stability, handling were out of the order. This is a big change to fusion rifles, including all exotic fusions, so we'll be watching any major issues as we make tweaks as needed. Okay, so I think I'm going to main the plug 1 if I use a fusion rifle. All right. The adaptive precision frame is the way to go. And yeah, moving along. Exotics. Poor Anarchy. Rest in peace. The Anarchy exotic grenade launcher has been dominant for years. We're ignoring the seasons with sweet grenade launcher artifact mods, of course. Oh? Being near mandatory for certain raid boxes combined with, example, double slug shotguns, as well as excelling as solo weapon for ad clears in some encounters. We like that it's a great choice for hard solo content and trapping enemy spawn checkpoints, but don't want it to remain part of the dominant tactic for boss damage, and particularly don't want it to be a great for boss damage and ad clears in a single encounter. With this change, we expect it to remain strong without being borderline usable as a primary weapon. That's a good point. Wow! They took off 10 shots, reduced total reserve magazine ammunition from 26 to 16. All right. It doesn't matter how much you love Anarchy. You can agree. That thing has so much ammo, bro. I swear, man. When I was doing a Grandmaster, I would run out of primary, maybe special, and be like, hey, it's all good because I got my primary Anarchy weapon in the back. Reduce damage by 30% versus bosses. Champions are not bosses. Damn. Okay. I'm curious to see what the PvE community thinks in regards to this nerf. Is it too much? Did they ruin it? Did they kill Anarchy? Let me know. Xenophage was already top notch. I knew they were going to nerf it. I saw it coming, dude, when they said they were going to buff machine guns. Was already top notch, so didn't need the benefit from the global machine gun buff. I know it! It doesn't benefit from the damage per bullet buff to machine guns, but now has a slower rate of fire to compensate, resulting in a slightly lower damage per second, but higher burst damage and sustained damage since it's now ammo efficient. Reduce the rate of fire from 120 to 90. Receives less of the machine gun PvE damage buff. Okay. Damn. Ouch. Ouch, bro. I love Xenophage. Ouch. We'll see how that works. Fighting Line has always been fun, but not dominant in PvE. So we weren't worried about the impact infinite ammo would have there. However, enabling fast, unlimited grenade spamming was too much in PvP based on internal playlists, so we've addressed that specific case without significantly impacting its feel in PvE. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Fighting Line reserve ammo increased from a lot to infinite. This is in PvE. Okay. Receives the same changes as other breach grenade launchers. Okay. Reduce the base reload stat to 0. Breach grenade launchers with 0 reload stat very, very slowly. Okay. So it reloads really, really slow. Now increases reload speed to its previous level on damaging multiple enemies with 1 grenade. Okay, so if you tag multiple enemies with a fighting line, it reloads normally. While without it, you're going to be stuck there reloading a grenade launcher shot for 5 years. We'll be keeping an eye on this, but believe it's in a good place with this change. And no, we're not going to over-nerf an exotic with its own subreddit. Wow. I didn't know that, actually. You shouldn't be manually reloading fighting line anyways. So they didn't say anything about Crucible here. We're just led to assume that they're going to put a cap on the primary ammo the fighting line has, whether it's like 28 shots now, I think, or something like that. It's not going to be infinite. So that's the only thing I can kind of just assume. It's not going to be infinite, thankfully. VEX Mytho, finally, the buff. I still don't have VEX. I need it! We were cautious with tuning this one at launch, knowing that shipping a dominant weapon that has incredibly low ownership would break PvP, and aimed for a balance, but erring on the side of not letting a ship too strong. However, it fell short of balance. Ownership is much higher now, and we want it to be strong enough to be desirable reward from the Vault of Glass. PvE damage bonus increased by 40%. I wonder how good that's going to be. Range stat increased to be near best in class for high impact. Oh my god, the range buff. Yes, that's exactly what I thought it needed, a range buff, especially because of the bloom. You won't have to deal with the bloom as much anymore because your shots will actually register. Increased ability stat. Sure, I mean, on PC, I didn't ever feel like it kicked. Reworked catalyst to grant stability and damage after a kill. Damage? Bro, it's like the OG crowd control, right? Didn't VEX have crowd control perk in Destiny 1? Maybe, I don't know, I'm crazy. But it's gonna be like a mini rampage. Oh, that's gonna be lit. What does the TTK do at that point? I don't know how many shots VEX needs right now, but is it gonna like require one less shot? That's gonna be savage. The streaks are gonna be insane. And then not to mention, if I get a kill, and then I change the weapon to the linear fusion rifle, and I have the bonus damage, the max bonus damage, I can one-shot body shot kill, maybe. Increase rate of fire from 360 to 390. Yo, all I want to do right now is go play Vault of Glass and get my VEX. Reduce linear fusion rifle mode charge time from 820 to 533. Bruh. They actually made a crack. They actually made a crack. They changed the charge time from 820 to 533. No longer loses overcharge tags, and now on stow except when in linear fusion rifle mode. You can swap it now. Damn, they just made VEX crack. Dude. Pair this with the passive burning steps, and you got a crazy build. Merciless. We had to touch this anyway because of the fusion rifle changes, and figured if we're in there, we might as well make a buff we'd been thinking about. Updated perk to account for fewer shots per burst, should build up charge rate at the same amount per burst as before, reduce the damage penalty for increasing charge rate by 40%. Yo, Merciless is about to be kind of crack. Jotun, oh my god, did they nerf it? Because I know people hate this fusion rifle. Personally, I don't care too much about it. I got the PC movement so I can dodge that thing, you know what I'm saying? Because of how the charge time stat works with the fusion rifle changes, we made a small change to avoid breaking this weapon. In playtesting, it makes almost no difference, but if I didn't mention it, someone would notice. Reduced charge time from 0.85 to 0.78, charges 0.04 seconds faster. Alright, ain't nobody gonna go crazy over this, right? Damn it, they buffed Jotun. I'm just, if they start to cry about that, I'm gonna be like, dude, it's 0.04 seconds in before it actually breaks the game. Slightly reduced damage per shot. All right. Bastion feels very strong with shotguns being less dominant. Yes. So we're preemptively adjusting it in PvP. It's also super low usage in PvE, and we're buffing it there too. Okay. See, this is what I like to see, bro. Like, I like to see this cause and effect thing. It's like, yeah, we're nerfing these things, and it's going to indirectly make these other weapons just stay dominant. You know, they're kind of like looking into the future. They're looking ahead. Bastion would 100% become, I think it would be way more popular if, let's say, shotguns, snipers, and futures are just trash. It's like, what do you go to? In my head, it's like Bastion. That thing is cracked. Reduced damage by 15% can now not quite kill a guardian with one shot in the 3-shot burst it fires. Increase the spread angle by 10%. Increases PvE damage by 25%. Okay. Do I think these are good changes? Is that going to be enough to kind of tone it down a little bit? I think this is the one that's going to make it feel not too crazy to play against, the increased spread angle. Because if you're far enough, if you're trying to keep your distance with the primary, you know, that spread on the Bastion will actually help you survive, especially if they can't one-shot kill you anymore. You know, they might actually have to charge again to get more shots on you. We'll see. Sweet business perk refilling the magazine when picking up primary ammo no longer works in a world without primary ammo, so it's been adjusted. Now refills magazine on picking up special heavy ammo instead of primary. Nice. That's pretty good. There's special ammo everywhere, bro. This is a buff for sweet business, 100%. It is a buff, right? Because originally now if I use it to take advantage of that perk, I need primary ammo bricks. And let me tell you something, for playing Crucible this whole time, I rarely see primary ammo bricks. I have to go into my helmet and put primary ammo finder if I want to get some. Perks. Firing lane. We like the idea of the perk. It was just giving away a bit too much damage for almost free. Reduced damage bonus to plus 20% damage for all supported weapon archetypes. It was highly variable depending on the weapon type. It's going to roll some sniper rifles, linear fusion rifles, and machine guns, and maybe some other stuff in the future. What could they possibly mean? Certain damage perks only affected impact damage on explosive weapons. We've updated these specific perks to also increase detonation damage. Huh. Kill clip, rampage, adrenaline junkie. Wait, so are they implying? Well, okay, so I get it. I just don't know how to put it into words. We also fixed incorrectly rarity on some recently shipped weapon perks. Whoa. We also fixed incorrect rarity on some recently shipped weapon. Wait, so they do weight perks, right? That implies they're weighing perks. That's why I can't get my God Roll Palindrome. Bungie, why? I did so many, bro. I grinded like 50 million GMs and I could never get the goddamn God Roll, bro. I don't know, actually. BFX. Weapon VFX were all custom and some didn't meet our desired cool factor, so we've rebuilt these to speed up the process of adding new weapons or updating old ones while updating the visuals at the same time. Updated all grenade launchers and rocket launcher VFX. Legendary fusions and linear fusion rifles now have a distinct damage type charge VFX. Ooh. The near future. We're devoting a lot of energy to the Witch Queen expansion, and there are a ton of things changing in a few weeks, so we want to see how things shake out before deciding on further tuning. We'll be watching Season 15 launch closely and are ready to make some small adjustments as needed in the first half of the season. The more distant future, but still before the Witch Queen, linear fusion rifles and caster frame swords are still not where we want them to be, so they're going to do a linear fusion buff. We're also looking at underused and underpowered exotics, arbalists, Surosogeme, Cryosthesia, Malfeasance, and more. Hey, Malfeasance buff is coming! If you have some issues with the spamming high rate of fire semi-automatic weapons as fast as possible, we've got something in the works for you. Wait. Spamming high rate of fire semi-automatic weapons as fast as possible. Oh, that sounds like a new perk. Maybe? That sounds like full auto. I don't know, man. Priming a target and quickly swapping for a cleanup is easier than we'd like. And we're looking at options for building towards faster swap speeds. We got a step at hinting both of these points coming. Okay, that's why we have the quick accessing on grenade launchers. And I guess they're talking about other weapons like switching from a bow to maybe Arianas if you don't have quick draw. But that's what we use the dexterity mods, no? Anyways, move on. Witch Queen and beyond, we've talked previously about wanting legendary weapons to have more identity based on their source and expect to ship a new system for this in or close to the Witch Queen. Oh. In Season 15, we tweaked exotic primary weapons to generate ammo faster through ammo finder mods, and we have another change planned to make them more enticing in hard PvE content. That's all we got for our weapon changes for now. We're looking forward to seeing how the PvP and PvE meta shape up once you have all your hands on the next week. This is awesome, dude. There's some really solid changes. I like this. I feel like the focus on the primaries, man. Guns, guns, guns. All right. We're still holding a lot of the details of Season of Redacted close to the chest, including a new Season 15 arsenal you will start to discover next week. We do want to show off some of the other weapons you will be earning next season. Next season's ritual quest weapon is a rocket launcher with the explosive light perk. As in the custom, you will receive a new quest to earn this weapon and then can collect the Gambit Crucible Vanguard theme weapon ornaments. Word. Hey, this rocket looks sweet. I like it. We are adding 3 weapons as post-game rewards for completing Vanguard Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible matches. These will drop randomly after completing these activities with random rolls. Okay, so we got a scout rifle, we got an auto rifle, and a sidearm. Raise your hand if you're not excited for any of these. Maybe the auto rifle, actually. Maybe the auto. The scout, if you play PvE, you probably will like the scout. But the sidearm, I don't think anybody but True Banger is going to be hyped about that one. I'm sorry, bro. Not me, man. Oh, hold on. We also have plans to freshen up the loot pool of the Prophecy Dungeon. We've seen a lot of feedback to bring forward weapons original reward from Trials of the Ninth and brought that, adding these to the ninth. These to the ninth. What the hell? Ninth themed dungeon was a great fit. These weapons have been upgraded with random rolls, and certain ones will drop from specific encounters of the Prophecy Dungeon. Bruh. Yo. We're getting the Trials of the Nine weapons back, bro. Yo. These things are hot. And they were some of the greatest weapons I've ever used in Destiny history. Like, look at the designs. They're so unique, too. All right. All right. You know what? I'm not a big fan of reissued content, you know? But I'm going to let this one slide. I approve. Trials of the Nine weapons were so, like, dude, this is good, man. These are good weapons to reissue. Now, reissuing these things, bro, this sidearm again for the 1 millionth time? No. These things, I'm down. On top of these weapons, we're also updating the Whirlpool with some fresh drops. Fresh. Okay. Here are the new weapons you can expect to start seeing pop up in the wild. Oh, I remember using this auto rifle in the beta. Oh, that thing was savage. A Scathe Lock, something like that. If it is that thing. That means there's a hand cannon. All right. So we can read this. Is that it for the 12? We could check this out. Just wanted to get to the juicy bits. That seems to be all the major things when it comes to the sandbox. But that was a really good read. Some solid stuff happening towards the game. I'm down. I'm excited to try it out. I feel like it should be pretty refreshing to not just play PvE, but also PvP. I'm excited to play. We've been hyping this up, but at the same time, don't want to overhype. Let's just say that you should expect at least one video and someone talking about Destiny. I've said too much. Listen, we're excited to and hope you enjoy what we got cooking up. See you next Tuesday. Oh, I got trolled. Stupid cat. Ban whoever said that in chat to click on the period. Also, this is the first time you guys are hearing from me my thoughts in regards to the announced anti-cheat. Dude, I didn't say anything. I almost forgot. Anti-cheat is coming to Destiny 2. Finally! Dude, I swear to God, the cheaters have just ruined Crucible, man. Like, I couldn't respect PvP the same way that I used to before. And not even the players almost, because you had this sus about people. It's like, is he legit? You know, can I give him props? What if he's not legit, right? It's just the comp integrity was ruined. And to me as a PvP player, the comp integrity is everything. You know, if I can't take the game serious, if I can't like get into it, you know, if I can't, you know, it's a PvP, I should be able to take it serious and care about it to some extent. But it's just like the whole cheater situation, man, it really ruined so many things in the way that I, you know, my passion towards playing Crucible. But the anti-cheat is huge news. I'm happy it's finally happening. Just everybody know, anti-cheat doesn't mean that every single cheater is going to be removed from the game. There are still going to be some, but at least the good news is that we're going to get rid of them, right? Some of them, maybe half, maybe more than half. It's going to be an impact, that's for sure. The comp integrity is going to be returning. It's going to be a good timing with all these Crucible changes. Bro, things are looking up, baby.